Houston Running Zone, the ultimate podcast for runners in the Houston area, featuring the everyday runners who inspire us, clubs, gear, races, and runcations. Houston, we've got the runs.
All right, today in the zone, I have a runner who's run over 1,500 races, including, this is a big one, 150 marathons and above, so ultras as well. And he's done tries, all sorts of stuff. He's working on his 50 states, but he is the president of the Road Runner Club of America, also known as RRCA, and the Houston connection is he is the featured speaker at the Houston Area Road Runners Association Summer Banquet just about last week there. So Please welcome George Rehmet. George, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Keith. Thanks for having me on. And I really had a wonderful time in Houston. The Houston Area Road Runner Association, man, they are a rocking group, consisting of all these running clubs and great support of the RRCA. I mean, I have my niece there. She lives with her twins, and
oh, terrific!
Lots to do there. So you're gonna maybe see more of me in Houston. And I am totally cool with that. Love the running scene out there.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I definitely want to talk about RRCA. But before I get into that, so how did you start running? Because 1,500 races, that's a lot. I see people, 400. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm blown away. I'm barely at over maybe 120. I've never really kept track. I should probably look that up. But 1,500, what in the world? Like, how long was this?
Well, I started running in 1981. So you're talking about 40 plus years. So
wait a sec. Hold on. You look my age. Wait, well, hold on. How old are you?
55.
What?
Yeah, running's a fountain of youth. I started when I was like 14 years old running.
That's some hydration and some sweat going on. That must be the secret there. All right.
Yeah. I swim too in the bay, and my wife says, "Man, your skin is always smooth after you swim in the ocean." So I was like, maybe that's it too. So how I got into running? Well, back then I lived in San Francisco. I live in Daly City, which is just south of it, but back in the day, growing up, my folks took me up skiing in Lake Tahoe area, which is 4 hours east of here in the mountains. And of course, first day of high school, I hear, of course, I'm a freshman. I hear an announcement for all these groups, clubs, cross country, and I'm thinking, cross country. I'm thinking skiing. It's like, okay, I'm in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some special equipment. Maybe on weekends we go up into the mountains or something like that. So I'm thinking. So that's my mindset. And so then I get into the meeting and I realize, it's about running. And it's like, I'm having my doubts, but then I see these sophomores who were at my previous middle school. And I'll be honest, they were geeks like me. And I figure, and they were nice guys too. So I figure, okay, you know what, maybe let me try this out. And so the next day I go out, I was hobbling right afterwards off the bus because, they had me run 4 miles. And of course I went bad out of hell, but I stuck it out in cross country and track. And I think it was just the camaraderie was there. In my freshman year, I finished near dead last, and you would think I would say that's it. But again, the support was there. I did see improvements sophomore year. I was like finishing in the middle. So, hey, all right. My junior year, I made finally on for my last meet, made varsity. And got most inspirational runner of the year. And so I think things like that, making the goals, I realized, this is a lifelong sport, and I felt good afterwards. And, I pretty much kept up the running. And, there's been times where I had to take a break because of injuries or whatever. And of course, going back to 1,500, that includes, cross country, track, where you're doing a lot of racing back then. And like sometimes, anything where there's, they publicize the race and there's race results and there's a handful of people finishing. So it's like pretty much that's counts all of that too. And I include triathlons, yes, swimming events, though they're just a handful as well. So that's how up to 1,500 races and how I got into running. So.
Oh my goodness. And I know that I was looking at your bio that you have been involved in RRCA since was it 99 or the year 2000?
Yeah, around there. That's another interesting story. So
Always.
I belong to the Dolphin South End Running Club of San Francisco, the oldest running club in the San Francisco Bay Area. And the president at the time, Joe Oakes, picked me, the Western Region Director for the Road Runners Club of America needed a state representative in the Central California region. Think of a RSA state representative as an ambassador. You represent the local clubs to the national office, and you're the face of the national office. Now, here's my theory as to why Joe picked me. A couple years ago, Joe was one of the race directors from the Escape from Alcatraz triathlon. Now, back in the day, the one you see on TV, escaping from the rock, in the bay, Alcatraz Island. And so one year I asked Joe if I could propose to my wife on stage because, I took my wife out there as a date, saying, hey, this is who I am. And she accepted me. So I got down on my knee and proposed. She accepted. I think Joe thought that was a pretty gutsy thing to do. And so he, put my name in and I interviewed. I got the position. I became, after a year, outstanding state rep. And then after a few years, I stepped down, give someone else a chance. And then 2007, 8, the local running clubs wanted to put on an RRCA national convention. So they asked me to come back, direct and as state rep again. So I did. Convention went well and got my second award as outstanding state rep, only state rep to do that. And then later on, people asked, I should run for the board as Western Region Director. So a few years later, 2015 or so, got elected as Western Region Director. They're like in the national board, briefly, it's like the president, treasurer. There's 3 at large now, 4 with the bylaws, and then there's 4 regional directors: Southern Region, where Texas falls in, Eastern, Central, and Western Region, and which is like the country's divided 1/4. And basically, the regional directors oversee the state representatives in each region, and the clubs too as well, sort of see what's going on in their region. So I did, and then a few years later, got appointed vice president, and then I was asked to run for president. Of course, I got elected just as the pandemic hit in March of 2020. So, but I really love the RRCA. It's a way of giving back to sports. It's a wonderful way to really see the clubs, and I think just sharing ideals with them, try to problem solve with them as well. And it's our role, on the board, we're volunteers. There's a national office, just 4 people, and, headed by CEO Jean Kanak, amazing person. She runs the day-to-day operations. We as a board just do the governance and, what direction are we going to take? And I could talk about that a little later. So
that was my thing was people don't know that much RRCA. So, they see the logo everywhere. They see them at races. They hear me talking about it, but you guys have really you're evolving running, like, keeping up with the times, what do we need to do now? And kind of talk a little bit about what you guys do on a national level.
Sure. Great. So I would say like the foundation, we're like the parent or umbrella organization for all these races and running clubs and provides insurance. And why do clubs and events need insurance? Something should happen. Lawyers don't go after your assets. The RRC is there to protect you. So when there was a club in my area, somebody had a heart attack at the race, family, just bad timing, sued. RRCA got a lawyer, defended the case successfully. So the club was, all in good hands. And so that's, I would say the foundation for the RRCA is definitely the insurance. And I would say a good number of clubs like say, hey, we got insurance, we're fine. And that's okay too. Our goal is, as a nonprofit, is to promote long distance running as a sport. And so basically we have other programs as well. So for example, another program that's very popular is the RRCA coaching certification. And so if you go to our website, you can find a coach, or if you want to be a coach, you could do that. Back before the pandemic, you would have to travel somewhere. But if there's one silver lining in the pandemic was that it pivoted to Zoom and actually made it more accessible to people who didn't have the funds to travel. They could, be, hey, I could just sit at home and learn. And going forth, we're going to still have that Zoom option. And some people still like to do it live as well. So that's a coaching certification. Another one is race director certification. That's more like online courses. Both the race director and coaching have these awesome textbooks as reference. And so then you sort of, with the race director certification, learn the best practices of the trade, and like, hey, what do you need to do? Safety, sponsorship, key things, permits and all that. So it's a great way. Even if you're a long-time race director, you always learn something new. Another program is like kids running. If you want to help your kid run, or even if you're a beginner runner. And so we have resources in that. If you're a club officer, there's resources on governance as well. There's key documents like conflict of interest documents, bylaws, which you could sort of adapt for your club if you're starting a new club, or if you need to make some adjustments as well. Also, with kids program, we got like Kids Run the Nation grants. So basically, if there's programs across the country that's trying to promote running, they go into schools, and sometimes helps funds with certain materials, for example. And so you just apply, and there's a committee that helps select it. So that's great. We got each year awards to recognize people in the community, not just the fastest runners, but like best like road race of the year. I know it was Glass City of Toledo, Ohio got it. Let's see, we got Volunteer of the Year award. I know Hans Wong, past president of the Houston Survivors, won the award previous year. So congrats to him. He's actually on the board now at large director. Yay, Hans.
He's a great speaker at the convention too. Keep him on.
Yes, we definitely will. The other thing too is runner-friendly community, and that's an award for different communities where like the government, businesses really support running, maybe with trails, with businesses. Hey, you know what? We'll store your stuff, or here's water as well. And I know that Houston is a RRCA runner-friendly community, and another distinction, it's the largest city to have that designation within the country. So,
we're number one at something. There we go.
And having gone to Houston to have clubs together and just the running routes, it's like I could see why it's well deserving of this award.
June Harris made a big difference there when I interviewed June Harris. I've known June for 8 or 9 years, and she really worked her tail off to make it happen. And downtown all the way going west. I mean, you could go everywhere just on that bayou and all over the place. That's awesome.
It takes a lot of work, and I'll be straight up. It's like San Francisco. You think Runners World named it runner runner cities, but it's never gotten the designation because it's like our businesses, government on board. I'm going to keep it science critical.
I got you.
Yeah, but
There's always
it's
something
to run it. But you know what? Hopefully one day, they could go for it too. But there's a lot of work in it, and I got to credit June as well with a great past president of HARRA's, and a couple of other programs too. It's like we have like Run Pro Camp. So for example, you have these top runners from colleges, and they don't know if they want to take it to the next level, like going for the Olympics or so forth. And so every summer, there's like a special grant that gets them to Arlington to the national office of Road Runners Club America, and they hear from some top peoples like Howie, Meb's brother, who's his manager as well. Learn about doping, having a manager, sponsorship, training, and so forth. And so it's a great way to expose them and give them the information so they make an informed decision as well. And so there's a lot of programs out there. It's pretty much, the basic information is free. Go to www.rrca.org. Again, rrca.org, Keith.
Yeah. I'll put a link up, and I've actually saw you speak, but I'm not sure what awards you got when I saw you in DC. I saw you in DC and also at the New Orleans conference, or were you just promoted at the DC conference? But I remember you on stage. So I was like, this guy's got some energy.
DC, Washington, DC. Well, I presented Deena Kastor as a speaker. That's why I was speaking. So I was introducing. She's from California, and so I was honored to introduce her. and she's president of Mammoth Lakes, which is on the other side of California, like about 7 hours away. Great area, altitude. If you ever have the chance, it's south of Lake Tahoe, and great natural beauty. And they have a beautiful track with the mountains right behind Mammoth Mountain as well. So, and her husband Andrew Kastor, great coach, both of them great supporters of the RRCA. And I forgot that Deena was a past recipient of the Rhodes Scholars Program, ROADS. Wow. And that was like to give money to up and coming athletes, who are training, because, they have to train all the time. And, and when you're beginning, finances are hard. And Deena, when she accepted, told her story, like how every little bit helps. And so ever since then, she will come out occasionally to be a speaker. And so she came out in Washington, D.C. It was the 60th anniversary of the RRCA.
Yeah, that was a great convention. I think, is that the same one you had Meb on as well?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It was fun. And of course, New Orleans had a good time. So I was actually part of a committee that got Road Race of the Year presented to us in New Orleans. I don't know if you remember that, but
was it the Houston Half Marathon or?
It was before that. So obviously Hans Houston Half Marathon was the toughest 10K Kima.
That's right.
Yeah, it was good time. So I got to talk, even though I'm not the race director. I was just part of the committee that put it together.
Well, that's okay. I mean, like, being a race director myself, it's a team approach. And I mean, I think of Road Race of the Year as like the best, if you're compared to Oscar, like best film of the year. So it's quite a prestige to be Road Race of the Year.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And it's such a fun, all your locations are great, what you guys do. And I'm glad that things are coming back up and people are being more comfortable about going to the convention. I guess you got one coming up in Chicago. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's coming up in Chicago, and it's in conjunction with the Shamrock Shuffle 8K run, 2-mile walk during St. Patrick's Day. The river's going to be green.
Yep.
It's going to be at the Palmer House. And like locals say, that's like one of the best hotels to be at for a convention in Chicago. And
how'd you guys get that rate? Because that is a ridiculous rate. You can't even get a hotel in Houston for $159 or whatever it is. So you guys worked your tail off. I'm
going to go back to Jean Kanak. Is like, she's the one and her national office staff that really looks around and tries to find like places that are accessible, and she really works her stuff expertise. In fact, a few years ago, Runner's World had named her as one of the 50 most influential people in running, in the sport of running. Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. And she's been with us, I guess, close to 16, 17 years. For a CEO, that's pretty amazing for a national organization. So we're very grateful, to have Jean at the helm. And so she is an amazing person. And you got to remember, she's one of 4 people at the national office. So I didn't realize that. Yeah. So please, I'm going to tell folks, if somebody doesn't get to you right away, it's because there's only 4 people in the national office, and they are very dedicated. One thing, yes, so Chicago's going to be great. I think the seminars are great, but the other thing too is meeting people across the country and getting new ideals, making friends as well. And so I think that's one of the best parts about an RRCA convention. So it's really, and it's fun. It's fun. I've had people come from who've gone to other national conventions for their respective organizations, said, "You guys are so much fun. We like it." And so there's a nice balance of fun activities and informational sessions. So, and then of course we have the national awards as well. And I forgot to add that another thing that RRCA does is championship events like state championship, regional championship, and national. And I think the one in Kima was I think has been one of those levels of RRCA championship. So, and actually when I was in Houston last week, I was coming from San Angelo. Run the Sun 8K was a Texas State championship. And so I wanted to come out and, really support them. And I had a great time out there. So
did you fly from San Angelo, or did you have to drive from San Angelo?
I drove. I flew into San Angelo, rented a car. My daughter lives in Southern California, so now I'm used to driving like 6 hours one way or so. But I think it's a good way to see the Texas countryside too. So, and, I did a little stopover in Austin and, I had a nice meal over there. And, I like Austin too. Texas City is a lot happening over there. So, and I think one of the perks of being president is like, really going around across the country, seeing how people put on races and making friends and realize, we hear about all this polarization, but with running, it brings people together. It's like, I think that's the beauty of our sport.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think, people turn off the news and put on some running shoes. It changes their outlook on life.
It sure does. It sure does.
So how else was your trip to Houston? Because you guys swam at Lake Longhorn / gun range, which, very Texas thing. But, our water's got to be super hot compared to the Pacific on the California side. Like what was the temperature difference there?
Oh, yeah, well, I got to first thank June Harris again. I mentioned she's an open water swimmer, and she's coming out Labor Day weekend to swim from Alcatraz. Just a little heads up, I've done over nearly 130 swims from Alcatraz. And so the water temperature in Lake Longhorn was like close to 90. Right now, the water I'm swimming at in the bay is about 58 degrees, and I'm doing it without a wetsuit. So I've piloted swims, help out at swims. And of course, we get people from hot climates. They jump into the cold water and they sort of freeze up because of the temperature change. I jump into the warm water and believe it or not, I freeze up and my body's going, what is this? This is warmer than a bathtub. And so it's like, I got to admit, it's like, I enjoyed swimming around it, but boy, I was like overheating and I just couldn't get my groove on. And June was just powering away. And of course, I know June's going to do great at the Alcatraz swim.
Yeah, it's like a jacuzzi minus the bubbles, and we have dirty water. So there you go.
Yeah. In the bay, it's like I'm used to it. So it's like what doesn't kill you make you stronger. So.
You are in the Houston running zone. We've got the runs.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And we appreciate it. And obviously they're building up all the running clubs, my running club, which is Bay Area Running Club, which is funny because you're from the Bay Area. We're Bay Area, a little chunk of Houston is under HARRA. And it's always good to be able to have a running club and not have to worry about all those headaches. You guys take care of everything. It's a very minimal cost because I was on the board for a while of the running club as well. But I always appreciate it. But also, you guys kind of do some runner safety tips. I know there's articles out there, and I can link to the article, but just kind of give us one or two safety tips that most people don't think about that they can implement like right away.
Yeah, I would say the biggest one, with technology, it's like people are listening, they're tuning out, and they need to be aware of the surroundings. I know a couple of times I've had to really yell at runners because they're not looking, they're crossing the street and there's a car coming, and so they're tuned out. Also for safety reasons too. And I think one of the things, what attracted me to the RRCA is like, I'm a teacher, female, I would say very female occupation. And basically, it's like RRCA, I would say, played a lead role in promoting women's running. They used to have like the Women's 5K Festival, and we look now is like at races. Most of the distances are 50% female or more. If you look at our leadership at the RRCA level, it's a female, usually half or more. And also like you look at HARRA, June is there, and of course now Kate as well. And so I think it really opened the door for that. So safety reasons is, I think, just be very mindful of your surroundings. If you have to, just keep one ear out. You just never know. You just have to be cautious. Even on trails, it's like, I like going without it because sometimes, we have rattlesnakes here. I've come across a mountain lion. I'm glad I heard that grr.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's like, I was like, okay. I started singing the ABC song very loudly and, spread my arms out. And so mountain lion went one way, I walked and said, you know what, I'm just going to turn around and, forget this route I'm going on. So,
yeah. Change your underwear. Yeah, the whole works.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, in the forest, no one can smell you. So, other thing too is, I think where we're going is with diversity, equity, inclusion is, I'm going to say is watch out for each other and be accepting. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, it's like with when Ahmaud Arbery got murdered and the news came out, it's like, I knew as president, we needed to do something at a national level. That was the easy part. The hard part was the how. And like, we looked at our bylaws, we looked at like diversity at the leadership. And like, I was the 5th person of color, 2nd person of color as president after 6 years, Ted Corbett. And now we have our 6th and 7th person of color too. And so we got the leadership, and we're looking at other ways too. We've had information as well. And like, just because somebody may not look like a runner, it's like, give them the benefit of a doubt. It's like, hey, they could be a runner. They're just being who they are. It's like, if you have runners of color who've had to like maybe wear like university or running clothes, and you know what, but it's not who they are. They have to sort of dress the part just for their own safety. And hearing stories of Black runners being called the N-word or, and like things thrown at them, it's like the safety of runners. Like I would say to everybody, put yourself in their shoes. It's like, we don't want that to happen. It's just not right, basically. And
of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's where we're working on now too. It's like, this is a safety issue. It's I would say an equality issue as well. It's like and that's where RRCA changed its model to empowering everyone to run. Because we want that, because we know the benefits of running. I work a hard day, I go for a run, I feel so much better. I feel healthy. You comment on looking young. It's like, it's like being a high school teacher. My students think, wow, I thought you were like in your mid-30s. Well, you get an A+ for telling me that. And also say, well, this is why you do PE. It's like,
yes,
you can still look at, and you can outrun youngsters like I can't. So, so that's safety tips and the direction the RRC is going. I know I put a lot into that question.
Well, I know. Well, yeah, obviously, the San Francisco Bay Area is diverse. Here in the suburbs of Houston, it's diverse. I had to actually think about it. Like, okay, yeah. By the way, even my street, like it's totally diverse. So like, we don't have the issue. But I remember June was saying like, we got to like extend a hand. So like, how do you extend the hand? Like, are there ways that we can like go to different locations and say, hey, we're going to be doing a run, or, what are some of the things that we can do to extend the hand, if that's the right term?
I would say going to different locations. I would say reaching out to businesses, like say there's a local cafe or store and say, hey, we're planning to have a run. And I'm just going to use an example like San Angelo with the Road Lizards. Like their start is in front of a bar. And so this year they got the bar to open. And so like, after the race, runners were going in. That was a positive thing. And so I guess where I'm going with this is, try different location, but reach out beforehand and sort of go to the business and say, hey, and that way they know it's like when all these runners come, and then they could be supportive of the business, and then it's a win-win situation. So like then the business could say to their customers, hey, you know what? I got some extra business here. And, so it's a good way to support each other. So and then hopefully the customers say, maybe I should try that running group and so forth. I think another thing too, that running clubs I've encountered, which I really like, is they have ambassadors. And so like when somebody comes out, especially if don't look like the other group of runners, it can be very intimidating. And they're putting their, ego on the line, their time as well. And so the ambassadors sometimes, some clubs have hats, T-shirts, or they'll make an announcement, and then their job is just to hang with the runner and talk with them and so forth, and feel like, hey, you know what, you're wanted. Hey, we are interested in you. And so I think those are two easy, I think very doable strategies to really reach out to different groups of people. Sometimes too, like running clubs here in San Francisco, they're thinking about like, yeah, you know what, maybe we should have like offering booths for different groups, organizations that help, support minority runners or so forth, and like encourage them to come or give them special rates. We think of like, hey, running is very inexpensive, but if you think about shoes, clothing, races, it can be a barrier for being a teacher. I work with like families who are working 2 or 3 jobs, and they're just barely squeaking by. So I think some ways is like, okay, what can be accessible? Maybe a free membership, or maybe special rates as well. So there's a lot of options. And I would say too is there's a lot of ideas out there. Start small. You don't want to get overwhelmed. I was talking to somebody from my running club, and he said, man, there's a lot of ideas. And I say, pick 1 or 2 things and just go with it, build on it first. And then when you feel like you got a handle on it, then try something else. And because you want the success, you don't want to get stretched out. And again, there are tips at the RRCA website. So, or, contact me, president@rrca.org.
There you go.
Feel free to email me.
I'm glad you mentioned like an ambassador. I was actually the social director for my running club for a good 4 years. And the person that's replaced me is the same way. Like, he'll run slow, not a problem. In fact, I prefer running slow. It's great. Yeah. So it can backfire if someone says, "Oh, I'm showing up. Oh, I'm slow. Okay, what's your 5K pace? Oh, 6.5." Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't run with you. You're gonna have to run with some of the fast runners. But yeah, if you find somebody that likes to run slow or even walk or whatever, like you have someone to talk to, and I enjoyed it. Like, hey, what got you into running? Why are you here? Instead of, what got you to Houston? Why are you here today? You want to make some friends, you want to hang out, you just want to check it out. And, that's awesome. Yeah. Ambassador.
Yeah. Or even for the faster runners to finish, and, they could be hanging out, at the finish line or what end of the group run, and just talk with them too. I think again, it's just making the connections too. And I think the thing is just seeing each other as humans. It's like, hey, you know what? This person came out. Hey, we want them. It's like, let's, find out. Let's be stronger. Have them join. So forth.
And photos too, because people don't realize it's not just a bunch of dudes that run fast. Like, it's everybody.
Yeah, and the representation too. You bring up another good point, Keith. It's also like the RRCA National Office looked at its website, like the photos too, and realized, you know what? We got to have like more people, because people have to see it to believe they could be in that position. And so I know when I was running, it's like being Asian, I'm half Filipino. I was like, in my culture, it's like running was not quite looked upon, it's like, really? It's like, and of course, like, and for the white people, it's like Asians running. And so it's like, but the end, I had a supportive group of runners, and we had a variety. I think that made a big difference. I think just the acceptance and supporting each other. I don't think I would have been running today.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I did see on your bio that you're Filipino. So you're half Filipino. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What's the other half?
My dad's from Australia.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm half Filipino. That's why I asked.
All right.
It was German, hence the last name. So, like, how Filipino are you? Because now that I know this, like, are you good at karaoke?
No, I'm pretty bad at it. In fact, my daughter will it's like, I'll be like tied up if I start karaoke and gag. But, I love Filipino food, chicken.
Tagalog?
What?
Do you know Tagalog?
A little. I can understand it. So,
okay, you're ahead of me.
Yeah, my mom worked quite a bit, and so I didn't really have the opportunity, and I'm just really not good with languages. It's like, high school is like, boom, I learned, and then it just a few months later, it's just gone. I just don't have that skill, but I can understand because there's a lot of English words intermixed. So
yes.
What's your other half, Keith?
German. So
German. Okay.
Name, yeah. So wait, are you always late or are you on time? How about that?
I'm on time. My dad's parents, mother was English, father was German. So I think we got the punctuality from my grandfather.
You have a nickname? Come on, there's got to be some Filipino in there. Do you have a nickname?
No, I don't.
Me too. What is we get some white in us, and then they
It's like if you're half white or something, you don't get the nickname.
I know.
So to the audience, Filipinos give nicknames. So like I got relatives like Bing Bong. Okay, and don't take this the wrong ways. There's boy. Okay, like that. Okay, there's Bing Bong Bong. So forth. So a lot of B's in there. So.
Yeah, I didn't know my cousins half their real names until like my mom's like, that's not their real name. I was like, why do you? Oh my goodness. Okay.
Well, I am called Kuya, which is like elder cousin. So
yeah, all right.
I get that, and of course, because I'm an uncle, I got Tito. So
okay.
forth. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So I was sure he doesn't look full Filipino. So there you go.
oh yeah. But you come out, Keith, I would take you to some of the best Filipino restaurants in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's actually Pinoy runners as well. They're not with the RRCA, but they have branches across the world. And so
all right.
I would think there is Pinoy runners Bay Area. And I would think there would be one in the Houston area because there's a lot of Filipinos in the Houston area. So,
a lot. Mm-hmm. Oh, super cool. All right, excellent. Yeah, we'll pretend. Well, I may have to do some Google Translate and learn some Tagalog or something. So,
yeah.
Well, I know your time's busy. I know you're busy with summer school, and we didn't even really talk too much about the other inclusion I want to talk about, especially with you being. Would be like are you a special ed teacher? What's the terminology? I don't want to use.
Yeah, I'm a special education teacher. I wear two hats. I teach history, math, and science. I teach in a mental health facility for kids with severe mental health illness, and it's called Canyon Oaks Youth Center, and it's like 30 minutes from my home, Redwood City, and it's run by the County of San Mateo. And I work with San Mateo County Office of Education. So I'm a special ed teacher. It's a small facility. We only have 12 kids. And the kids live there for their safety because they have behaviors that are not safe for themselves or others. Sometimes kids are there because of abuse. Like I read the reports and it's like you cannot believe like some of the evil adults perpetrate, put on kids. It's really awful. Sometimes it's brain chemistry. It's like some kids I know, it's like they're doing fine. And then they end up being schizophrenic. It's like something in the brain happens. Sometimes kids, they come from best backgrounds and, they just have these really violent tendencies or behavior. And then I deal with the kids, especially kids from the LGBTQ trans community who have been bullied to a point where they just want to self-harm and take their life. And I had one kid, had scars on the arm from self-cutting and said, well, Mr. Rehmet, it's like sometimes the pain makes me forget about all the pain I suffer as being bullied. And so it's like, so I see, and so I think when my role as president, why I'm so passionate about DEI, because I see the worst effects of it.
Yeah, so say you seem far.
And of course, and just talking to different runners too, when I was trying to figure out with Gene is like what directions from different story, particularly Black runners about their stories as well. And it's like, it was just too many stories to say, it's not a one-off thing. It's a problem in our country. And so, again, it's like, I just want to I think as a teacher, I just want to make the world a better place for people. It's just my calling. So
wow.
It's a tough job, but I have kids come back, contact me and say, hey, I'm doing really well. Or I bump into them in the street and they're doing really well. And you can't put a price tag on a life. And, it's like one time I was in a restaurant and the former student was a maitre d' and gave me 50% off the bill. I was like, man, that was one of the best thank yous I could ever get. So, as a teacher, yes, it's tough. The pandemic was tough, but it's very rewarding too. I mean, I think that's one of why we do it is to really make a difference. And I think what I like about RRCAs too, I think it's really nice, like an opposite, like to really make a difference in the sport that I love as well.
Yeah, that's cool. You can bring your skills over, to the national level and help everybody out. Also, inclusion. Do you guys have an Ainsley's Angels chapter there yet?
Yes, there is in the Bay Area. And one of the races, Armed Forces Half Marathon in the East Bay, about 40 minutes from San Francisco. Their race was previously a state championship. And, they finally, after pandemic, have a half marathon that goes through a naval base. And they had Angels there. And I just told, it's a blast to have the kids with disabilities being supported by all these runners as well. And, we pass by, we cheer them, high five them as well. And I think, again, it's just to be the sport that people can really participate, do a lot of good, like fundraising, or just somebody give the opportunity just to be with other people and just experience a different environment too. So, yeah. And I would say along those lines, if I said one of my favorite race, Rick Nealis, one of my favorite race director for the Marine Corps Marathon. I like it because, it's put on by the Marines, well run, go through Washington, D.C. But what really I appreciate about is the servicemen and women that are out there, and like you'll see like photos on the back of fallen comrades. And for those who have been wounded in their service to our country, they're out there being supported as well. And really, I think it's a marathon that really makes you appreciate our military. And, I just had to put a shout out for the Marine Corps Marathon, DC. It's always like towards the end of October. So definitely, if you have one of the marathons you got to run in your life.
Sounds good. Awesome. Well, yeah, I appreciate everything that you do. Obviously, you're volunteer with RRCA, which is it's amazing, everything that you guys do. But before I let you go, I got 3 more questions. Call it the lightning
go for
round. George, you ready? Oh, you're ready. All right.
I'm ready.
Well, besides the Marine Corps, what is your favorite race so far out of 1,500?
I would say Napa Valley Marathon. It's in the first Sunday in March. It's Napa Valley is like wine country.
Yeah. And
the reason why is growing up, my dad would take me up there, and nearby is Calistoga and like the hot springs and so forth. And so it was like our favorite go-to weekend place to go. And so when my dad passed away, it was a bit of a funk. And so in 1999, I broke 3 hours after 8 years of trying, 2:59. Only marathon I ever broke 3 hours. And usually, one, it's just the memories of my dad. I think at mile 20 when he hit the wall, I got energized. And I sometimes think it was my dad's spirit that sort of helped push me along. I would say that would be like obviously my favorite marathon because of the meaning, the area, and just that achievement. Like really, it took me like 8 years from the first marathon to finally breaking 3 hours. And so I would say that would be of the race. Obviously, Boston, New York, the big ones too are, like, yes, you qualify or you get in the lottery. But boy, there's so many amazing races to do. I would say Big Sur Marathon. I know it's in California again, but it's along the coastline, and it's a tough race. The wind's in your face, but it's like where land meets the sea, and it's just an amazing sight. And Doug Thurston, he's retiring, but a great race director. And so it's in the last Sunday in April. So definitely come out to that one, Big Sur. But if I had to pick a non-California race, man, so many to pick from, I would say, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I would say Chicago for sure. It's like it's a big race. Very supportive. Small race. Boy. I'm sorry. I would say in Huntsville, Alabama, or Rocket City. It's a flat course, December. I'll be honest. It was one of my favorite races because I'm a science teacher. I love the Rockets there. And like a lot of people think like Houston or Canaveral, but Huntsville is a great place. But here's the thing. I met the current race director, and he made like a comic book as an information booklet.
Oh,
and
fun.
I thought that was the coolest thing ever. A comic book to share the information about the course, and there's a plot line too. And so I got to admit, that is really creative. So I would say definitely Huntsville is the thing to go. Another one is in Alaska and Anchorage, put on by the Anchorage Running Club, is the Anchorage RunFest. And so it's a state spinner championship RRCA at different levels. And they have like an ultra marathon, 10K, 5K, 1 mile. Kids, there's something for everyone. You just have to be mindful. There's been moose, bear spotted on it, but it's all volunteer and local. So definitely Anchorage is a great place. Lots of things to do up there too. It's amazing. Like I've been there a couple of times. I've kayaked to Spencer Glacier, hiked on it, a glacier, and also a new thing. There's a jet ski, Whittier, which is like an hour or so away, and unique of its kind. You jet ski to a glacier.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Going like
why not?
50 miles per hour because there's hardly any boats out there, and so it's a blast. So those are some of my happiest memories of the race, and yeah. So I could tell you more, but those are the ones that really stand out.
Yeah, you'll remember when we're done. You're like, oh, I forgot about this one. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it totally is. I don't know if Houston has this, but like the San Francisco Giants has the Giants race, and so you finish on the baseball field, and you get a bobblehead. Hang on.
All right.
So you get like a bobblehead like this, and a cool T-shirt. But the cool part is people like it because you finish on the baseball field, and so I don't know. You know, if there's a race where you finish in the Astrodome, because it's pretty cool to do that.
Yeah, they've changed it. There's a couple races that do it. I believe one of them does finish inside as well as for the Rockets and well as the Texans. So yeah, it's just like using. Hey, we got the real estate. Let's use it. So there you go.
Yeah, but actually, there's one other. It's outside the country. You know, I have relatives in Australia, so. Couple years, 2019. I'm trying to do a marathon in every state in Australia, which is easy. There's only 8 states, so I've got 4 left. And so in Western Australia, there's a small town on the Indian Ocean called Broome, Broome, and it was on the beach, and so it's like dead flat, you know, and you're running on the beach one direction, go out one way, the other direction. And you have the Indian Ocean right at you, and it's dead flat. And it's like, it was just a unique experience just to run a marathon on a beach like that. And usually you think you get sand, but it was like, and like my legs were fine afterwards because it was such a soft surface.
All right. All right, well, we got a ton on the list. I'll have to listen to this episode twice. All right, there you go.
I know. And you're right. There could be other stuff too I could do, but yeah, if you want to do an international one, and again, it's just the best part is it's just running. You know, takes you to places you experience different cultures. I think that's why you want to do the 50 states is just see the country, but use the marathon as a standard distance. And okay, well, I'm sorry. There's one more outside Las Vegas. It's 2 hours away. You drive. You start at midnight, and it's called the Midnight ET Run. And basically, you start at Area 51 at the mailbox, and then you finish at this bar called Little Alien. And there's it's like people wearing glow in the dark sticks. I mean, there's high altitude, but even though it's in August, you're high up, it's very cool because, it's dark and like the stars just light up the night. And so if you ever want to do a marathon, they have a 50K as well, 51K, it's or a half. It's an amazing, unique race to do. I mean, and it's like, yeah, it's like, that was like a blast to do. So it's like, and my family liked it because they went to sleep. I came back the next morning and said, okay, let's go check out Las Vegas now.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I got a couple more for you. How about number 2? What's your favorite culinary guilty pleasure?
Oh, guilty pleasure. Oh my gosh. You mean like a bad habit food or
something you really shouldn't be eating? We all have it.
I'll be honest. It's Filipino and
okay.
Halo halo, and it means in language mix.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like shaved ice. ubi ice cream. So ubi is like a sweet potato that's purple, and they put in bean, coconut. You can put it in whatever you want. You stir it up, and
you got to mix it. If not,
you got to mix it to get all the flavors together. And sometimes it's so huge. It's like one I can share with my spouse, or sometimes it's like if it's huge, it's like I'll share it with my daughter too. And it's like I don't have it too much because it's so packed with calories. But it's like one of those things where if I've done like a marathon or longer, or if it's a very hot day or a long workout, I'm going to go for a hollow. Problem is, it's like I have to be very hungry because there's Filipinos like to stuff you. Is like, and of course the sin is like you get stuffed with the regular food and you want that hollow, and you can't because you are stuffed. So.
Yeah, too much lumpia. Yeah, it's out of control. There you go.
yeah, lumpia, milkfish, and so forth. Yeah, so good stuff there.
We'll end on a running one here. Question number 3: what is your favorite gear that you have to have for, let's say, a marathon? Is there a certain shoe, water bottle, headband, anything that you're like you must have it?
I would say the Hoka's, shoes. I like the Bondi. I find that the thick shoes, any Hoka's pretty much for any long races. I find because my age 55. I do need that cushioning. So that's pretty much my go-to shoes is like the Hoka's, and like for trail races, it'll be the Hoka Speed Goats. So those are my go-to. I am not endorsed by Hoka's, but it's just my favorite shoes. So I can pretty much interchange anything else, clothing or likewise. But those are the long, shoes for my long races or long runs.
Terrific. Yeah. Well, we'll tag them. You never know what could happen. They need to sponsor the RRCA. Maybe that's a good one as well.
Yeah. So, and I know Hoka's have been really working on diversity as well in their area. So I got to thank you for that. And a lot of running shoe companies too, up here like Adidas and Brooks too. And so that's real. I got to say on a encouraging note, it's like the industry as a whole, it's working for diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI. It's like an ultra marathon. It's going to take time. Even with women's running, I'm glad where women's at, but I hear stories about women being harassed, or it's like women say, well, you can't do that because you're what like that. So it's like it's an ultra running, but I like the direction that we are taking.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, well, George, again, appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you again when you come down to Houston and swim in the lake, the heated lake.
Well, and Keith, thanks for being a volunteer board for the Bay Area Running Club, and hopefully you can come to San Francisco Bay Area and meet our Bay Area Running Clubs here.
Yeah, it's been at least 10 years since I've been to the Bay Area, so there you go. I'm on my way.
All right. And I'm looking forward to coming back. And Houston, be proud, I appreciate this little gift too. So the little tank top, thanks June for doing that. Houston Area Roadrunner Association. You guys are, I got to say, Houston, you guys are an amazing place. You guys rock it. So it's like, keep it up. You guys are the bomb. Okay. You guys, as they say, my students would say, you are dope. So there we go.
All right. Well, we'll catch you soon, George. Thanks again.
All right. Thanks, Keith.
As always, if you want to become the first to find out about upcoming weekly episodes, simply hit the plus, follow, subscribe button. Depends on your podcast platform. And if you're on a podcast app where you can leave a rating and review, we always love it. Hey, give us 5 stars if you like it. And if you don't like it, give us 5 stars anyways. You made it through the whole episode. But more importantly, looking forward to sharing another episode next week.
Thanks for visiting the Houston Running Zone. If you know someone you'd like to be featured in the zone, go to thehoustonrunningzone.com and send us a message. Until next week, always remember, Houston, we've got the runs.